Ladies and gentlemen, lots of interesting news floating about. We've got some information in regards to the protest, the update on the protest. We've got some information in regards to Cole Palmer. Next season, there's a leak in terms of the away kit. But most importantly, it's these two pictures for Pedro Neto and Levi Colwill, the gesture, the celebration that they were doing. We need to talk about this. We definitely need to talk about this. Side of the coin, and welcome to your latest Chelsea news update. Before we get into the news of the celebration, the yapping gesture celebration from both Pedro Neto and Levi Colwill, I want to give you guys my opinion on it because I find this celebration very, very strange. So, as I said, before we go through the news, let me explain myself. First of all, I'm not one of those ones that care too much about celebration. You want to celebrate, you do you. You go out there and you celebrate however you want to do so, right? But having said that, you need to have some form of awareness. You don't need to go out there and celebrate something that's going to make you look like a fool. For example, what's his name? That left back at Arsenal, that kid, Lewis Skelly, right? Lewis Skelly. He did that Erling Haaland celebration right in front of Erling Haaland. What were you trying to achieve out of that? What were you trying to achieve? If anything, you've now made yourself a huge target. And going after Erling Haaland, I get it. Even though Erling Haaland said, "Who are you? Who's this guy?" and whatnot. Of course, who are you, Lewis Skelly? You're a nobody at the moment. You're absolutely nobody. So for you to do that, you've just put yourself a huge target on your head all across the Premier League, but most specifically, when you come across Manchester City. So unnecessarily, you've brought that pressure on the whole humble thing that Erling Haaland has said that's been mocked about, and now every other club is mocking Arsenal Football Club. So when you see that, and then you look at Pedro Neto and Levi Colwill. Pedro Neto and Levi Colwill, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Pedro Neto first before we handle the Levi Colwill situation. For Pedro Neto to be doing this yapping gesture, my man, who are you trying to have a go at? Can you actually put your hand on your heart and say you've had a stellar season at Chelsea Football Club? No, you haven't. In fact, large parts of the season you've been quite average. It's not like you've achieved anything. Tell me what you've achieved, Pedro Neto, this season. What have you achieved? A little bit of self-awareness, ladies and gentlemen, is required. And I feel like our players lack that. Massively lacks self-awareness. Pedro Neto, you doing this to the fans, it doesn't warrant it. There are some fans that are coming out and saying, but Miz, these players, they cop a lot of abuse, this, that, the other on social media. Abuse is wrong. I'm not saying abuse is correct. But these players learn how to block all of these things out. Block these people. Put them on mute. But if you're confusing abuse with criticism, then I'm sorry. You are rightly being criticized. 100% you're rightly being criticized. Yes, you scored a really nice goal against Arsenal. But did that lead to a victory? Do your yapping celebration when you've actually done something, when you've actually achieved something. None of your performance has led to an astounding win for us, or you've shown immense consistency, and then where there's been a little bit of dip, fans have got to you, and now you want to do the yapping gesture, no problems. But you've literally done nothing. So Pedro Neto, I don't know what message you're trying to send. This is not the right one, brother. This is not the right one. And you're a player that I like. Levi Colwill. Levi Colwill, ladies and gentlemen. Levi Colwill has actually been poor this entire season. He's been atrocious. So much so that he's on fraud watch for me. And he's coming out scoring a goal and he's doing this every other match this season. This guy's made a mistake. Now, some fans are saying that gesture was towards Southampton fans. What are you doing? It's Southampton. What are you going after Southampton fans for? Southampton, look, kudos to the team, kudos to the players, kudos to the manager. We got the 3 points, much needed 3 points, well deserved 3 points. But this is Southampton, man. They're getting battered everywhere they go. And we saw how poor they've been. We saw how poor they were against us. You're doing this to the Southampton fans. Once again, a little bit of self-awareness, Levi Colwill, little bit of self-awareness. You've been dropping stinkers after stinkers after stinkers this season. That celebration is not warranted. That celebration 100% is not warranted. Once again, some fans are saying, oh, they catch so much insults and this, that, the other on social media. Now that they want to clap back, fans have a problem. Fans are the ones who are booing them. I'm sorry. I haven't seen any fan boo Levi Colwill. I haven't seen any fan boo Pedro Neto either. Chelsea fans I'm talking about. I've seen criticisms, and rightly so. Rightly so. And some people are saying, oh, look at them go after Cole Palmer. And once Cole Palmer does this yapping celebration, I'm sorry, two different stories here. Cole Palmer actually has credit in the bank. If Cole Palmer did the yapping celebration, you could probably understand to a certain level, even though, once again, I don't endorse it. Don't try and trigger the fans. I don't think it's a good way to run your business. But if Cole Palmer was to do that, at least we can say, do you know what? He's scored a lot of goals this season as well. He's put on some assists. He could have scored a lot more. And last season, he had an unbelievable season. Okay, you got some credit in the bank. You want to give it back to the fans, no problems. But these two players want to give it to the fans. All right, let's have a look at the news now, ladies and gentlemen. Chelsea hope to shield their players from the protest, not wanting any distractions ahead of a must-win match. That is hard to do in social media age, and Pedro Neto and Levi Colwill later celebrated their goals with yapping hand signals. Now, look, this particular journalist, Kieran Gill, I don't know what he's trying to insinuate here. Are these gestures done because of the protests? I mean, if that's what you're trying to insinuate, that's wrong. That's wrong. I mean, if that is what the players are also thinking, don't be showing this yapping celebration for people that are protesting. The people that are protesting for the right cause. The football club has been a joke from top to bottom. I personally don't think they were going after the protesters, but they were definitely going after fans that are probably going after them. So this story here from Kieran Gill, yeah, you're trying to create a bit of a mess between the players and the fans. Well, players and the protesters. I don't think the players were going for the protesters, but these players definitely were trying to send a message to the fan base. And I don't think it's warranted one bit, especially not from these two players. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about the gesture. What do you think about that? As I said, I don't want to police celebrations, but have a little bit of self-awareness. It goes a long way. It goes a long way. And we, as a squad, we lack a lot of self-awareness. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea heard the protest, but they will not provide an immediate change to an approach the hierarchy believe will bring the good times back to Stamford Bridge. Look, I don't know what these guys are smoking. They actually think that it's going to bring back good times. How? Kids on top of kids on top of kids to compete at the highest level. I'm sorry, it's never been done. It's never been done by a top club. It's never been done in the Premier League. It's never been done in the Champions League. This is not Brighton. This is not Ajax. This is not Borussia Dortmund. you can't compete at the highest level with that philosophy. Low wages, younger age, and low transfer fee. In certain instances, this makes sense, but this shouldn't be the overarching blanket over the entire club. No, you're not going to be able to compete. It's simple as that. So for them to say, oh, they fully believe in the hierarchical system and they fully believe that they'll be able to bring back good times, I highly doubt. I highly, highly doubt. And we know one protest is not going to change everything. It's going to take multiple protests, and we will be here. We will be here. I'm pretty sure there will be multiple protests. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea are relaxed about the situation of Cole Palmer. First of all, they are still optimistic about playing Champions League next season, and Palmer hasn't gone to them saying he's unhappy. Look, he may not be expressing that he's unhappy with the current situation of Chelsea Football Club, and he may not even say that even if we don't make the Champions League. But one thing's for certainty, he will not accept this for too long. He may continue for one more season, but he ain't going to accept this for too long. If Chelsea keep showing mediocrity in the transfer window and Chelsea keep showing mediocrity in the Premier League in terms of results. Having said that, Cole Palmer himself is going through a bad patch, a massively bad patch. But one thing we can say about Cole Palmer is he's a supremely talented player. He's got enough credit in the bank. The work he did last season, and also his stats this season aren't bad. Could have been absolutely stupendous, but it's still not that bad in terms of goals and assists. So, look, Cole Palmer, I feel that you can be a little bit more lenient because of the credit in the bank. But having said that as well, I think a little bit of break is needed. I feel like this player, the stinker he put on against Southampton and how frustrated he was so desperate for that goal. Almost like trying a bit too hard. It makes me think he's probably due for a bit of a rest. A little bit of refreshment, a little bit of time away from football might actually do him the world of good, to be honest. So let's see what happens and let's see how Cole Palmer is managed. But I feel like it's getting a bit too much now. He just needs to get away from the scene, come back refreshed, and I think he'll all be clicking into gears again. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Liam Delap to Chelsea could be a concrete possibility. He's not the only name, but Enzo Maresca keeps bringing up his name internally, and Chelsea actually made some contact in January to find out conditions. So, look, seems like this is the player that we're going for, and Enzo Maresca is going for him. In terms of our project, completely fits. Young player, potentially not that high transfer fee, but you're still looking at about 50 million at least, and definitely not the highest wages. You're probably looking at about 100,000 per week. So it fits the project bill. I don't mind Liam Delap. I think there is a serious talent there. Serious talent. I think one that can blossom into a superstar. He's got it all. Aerial threat, physicality, hard-working ethics. He's got a bit of technicality about himself. He's got it all. People at Chelsea Football Club know him. Joe Shields, Maresca, many of the other Man City, ex-Man City players, academy players that we have. They know him. They know him. So I've got no doubt this is probably our primary target. But the one thing that I do need to say, he's another kid. He's another kid. And do we have time to keep on staying patient? Do we need another kid? Probably not. We need someone who's polished, who can come and do the job immediately and compete against Nicholas Jackson. Perhaps even take over his position. We don't need another kid. As good as Liam Delap may be as a kid, we don't need another kid. But it seems like it's going to be Liam Delap. And as I said, I've got no issues with Liam Delap in terms of him as a talent. But him being yet another kid means we have to stay patient. And I don't know whether we have time to be patient. 3 seasons under the new ownership. Time to get a move on. Next season, we need to start competing for the Premier League title. Are we close enough? No, we're not. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive first look at Chelsea's 2025-2026 away strip. Looks pretty nice. I can't even lie. Looks really nice. What is it? Red and black stripes, is it? Chelsea logo, Nike. It's a very, very nice kit. I'm not even going to lie. Looks very good. One that I might have to cop. And I know a lot of you guys will say, oh, here we go. Giving money to the owners. Buying merchandise and going to the matches, that's not the biggest source of revenue for these lot. And I'm just saying, look, maybe I'm not even going to get it, but this does look nice. But yeah, just by stopping buying merchandise is not going to stop these owners from being the owners of Chelsea Football Club. Brand damage is very important. These protests will create brand damages. The more we keep doing that, the better it's going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about, especially in regards to the yapping celebration gesture from Pedro Neto and Levi Colwill. What do you guys make of that? Let me know your thoughts. Smash up the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, take care. See ya. Goodbye.